So we just move on the corner. The Jaguars signed Shaq Griffin, 3 years, $44.5 million. Redskins signed William Jackson, 3 years, $42 million. Giants signed Adoree Jackson, 3 years, $39 million. Broncos signed Ronald Darby, 3 years, $30 million. Browns signed Troy Hill, 4 years, $24 million. The Bengals signed Mike Hilton, 4 years, $24 million, and Chidobe Awuzie, 3 years, $21.75 million. Vikings signed Patrick Peterson, 1 year, $10 million. Broncos signed Kyle Fuller, 1 year, $9.5 million, and the Colts re-signed Xavier Rhodes, 1 year, $6.5 million. So what are your thoughts on all these corner signings?
So I'll start with the 3 1-year deals for Peterson, Fuller, and Rhodes. No brainers. All are great. There's no risk in any of them, especially Xavier Rhodes to the Colts. The fact that he got $6.5 million to return there is, I thought he would get more. He played really, really, really well for them last year. But I guess there just wasn't as much of a market out there for him. Peterson should upgrade the Vikings cornerback room. They needed a veteran too. All of their players at the position last year were 24 or younger, I think, or at least had three or fewer years of league experience. Peterson has experience, and Fuller has played in Vic Fangio's defense, so needless to say, he fits there. As for the rest of the deals, the 3 that I really like: Shaq Griffin to the Jaguars, William Jackson to Washington, and Ronald Darby to the Broncos. For Shaq Griffin, he's one of my favorite players to watch. He's just so physical. He does really well in all sorts of coverage. I thought he was going to get more than he got. He got just under $15 million a year. So I think for the Jaguars, pairing him with CJ Henderson, who's a bit more athletic and fast, I think that's a good pairing, because Griffin can bring some physicality, and Henderson can, use his speed and cover faster receivers. So those 2 pair well together. William Jackson III, really good, one of the best kept secrets in the NFL, because the Bengals secondary is terrible, but don't blame him for that. He was really excellent in coverage last year. Washington has a borderline elite defense. They just needed a true number 1 corner. They got it, and William Jackson with a pass rush in front of him is going to be really, really good. So I think he's going to fit in well there. And Ronald Darby going to the Broncos, he signed exactly the deal I thought he was going to sign. I projected him for a 3-year, $10 million a year annually, and that's what he got. He got maybe a little more in guarantees than I would give to a guy who's only played 1 full season, but he was really good last year. He's still pretty young, and he's going to be asked to be the number 2 corner in Denver across from Fuller. And then you have Michael Ojemudia, who looked good as a rookie, and then also Bryce Callahan, if he can stay healthy in the slot. So I like what Denver's doing at corner, but I really like those 3 signings in addition to all the 1-year deals. I just really think that the corner market wasn't as expensive as I thought, so teams that spent there generally did well.
Yeah, I think in order of the 1-year signings, I think Fuller, then Rhodes, then Peterson. Peterson wasn't very good last year, but he can rebound. Like, he's not that old. He's in his early 30s. So, he definitely bounce back. And the Vikings, especially under Mike Zimmer, he can get the most out of Peterson, I think, at this age. Rhodes is so cheap, $6.5 million, but Fuller's so young and only $9.5 million plus the scheme familiarity. It just no brainer. So all those signings are great. I like the Shaq Griffin and William Jackson signings as well. I like Jackson more. I think that's probably my favorite one outside of the 1-year deals. To give Chase Young more help, like at corner, like it's just gonna be ridiculous. That defense is gonna be awesome. And Shaq Griffin, the Jaguars needed a number 2 corner outside, like on the other side of CJ Henderson. So I like that signing too. The other ones are fine. I don't really hate anything here. Ronald Darby for $30 million. Like, if you were to tell me he's going to be healthy, it'd be a great signing. The problem is that he's been so banged up, so I'm not sure if he can live up to that contract. But yeah, if he can stay healthy, that's definitely, he can definitely do that. Chidobe Awuzie, 3 years, $21.75 million. Like, maybe that's a tad too much, but I think that's okay. Like I said, I don't hate any of these signings.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find any really bad signing on here. Some people might do a double take on the Adoree Jackson contract number, the 3 years, $39 million that's been reported. But people forget he was a first-round pick, and he played pretty well for the Titans in previous years. Just this last year, he was hurt a lot. And then, by the time he came back, that defense was all sorts of out of sorts. So I think he'll bounce back, especially if they play him in the slot. And he has kick return value, too. People forget about that. So I think that'll be a nice little boost for the Giants too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like he's an injury question mark, just like Ronald Darby. So there's a two similar signings. But yeah, I think Jackson has more upside than Darby. Like you said, former first round pick plus the kick returning ability. And the Giants, I mean, if Jackson stays healthy, they suddenly have a great secondary. So if they can get a pass rush, it's going to be very difficult to throw on the Giants. We had a question earlier, I think it said, are the Redskins the best team in the division? I think it's between the Redskins and the Giants. I think it's going to be a tight race, kind of like it was last year, but both teams are going to have more wins, I think, right?
Yeah, I would hope they have more wins at this point. I think for Washington, it depends on how their quarterbacks play. For the Giants, I think it's the offense in general. Like if Saquon Barkley comes back and is great, that can mitigate a little bit of the pressure on Daniel Jones. But yeah, for them too, it's can they get a pass rush? Can they get their offense sorted out? So I have a little more faith in Washington right now just because of how great that defense looks, especially if they draft some linebackers to help out and find a free safety, which I think they will. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun division to watch once again, and not because it's terrible. Hopefully,
yeah. I think it's Washington by a little bit, and then the Giants, and then the Cowboys, and then the Eagles are definitely the worst team.